Alright guys, welcome back to part 2 where we've already developed our object class. So now what we're going to do is we're going to develop the method that we want our object to do. So if you go into your maids.h, which is your header file here, you'll see that we've got our we've got our maids class developed there within the parent class of NSObject. Now down below, in between the interface here and the end, is where we're going to establish our method that we're just going to first put into place. So this method, we're going to start it out by declaring it with a dash. Then we're going to put inside of our brackets void. By establishing our method with void, now we're going to name our method. And so in this case, we could put anything. Your methods, you want to make sure that they're lowercase. So let's just say our maid, one of her methods or his methods is going to be clean the kitchen. Alright? So clean the kitchen, we're going to end that with a semicolon. And now we've established our method. We haven't told like the method what it's going to do, or the object what it's going to do. That's what we're going to do within the maids.end, the implementation. So we're going to copy this method header here, and we're going to go over to the maids.m, and again in between the implementation and the end here, we're going to paste our method. Now the only difference is we're going to take out the semicolon and we're going to put a curly braces, and this is where we're going to write the statement of the method that we just created for clean kitchen. So now something that you guys know how to do is just basically throw out an ns log and show that statement. That's what we're going to do for this, just so you can see the general concepts for this. So when we tell our object to clean the kitchen, we want to throw out something. So they're going to clean the kitchen. It's going to be like, dang, this grease is thick. Alright, so all we're saying is when we call this method here, this log is going to take place. Now if we hit run right now, let's go ahead and run it. You'll see that it's compiling. Nothing's actually going to happen because this method hasn't been called anywhere. We've basically only set it up within our objects class, and we haven't called, or we haven't actually developed an object yet. We've just developed the class for the object. So what we're going to do now is go over to the main.m. So this is where your main program is, and because there's nothing within our auto release pool in the brackets there, we have no statements or arguments or anything like that. That's why we didn't get any. The program basically ran and it ended because there was nothing for it to run. So in between here, this is where we're going to develop a new object, and then we're going to tell that object to clean the kitchen. Okay? So in doing so, we have to pull basically this object class into our main thing here. So before we can write any kind of statement and tell our object what to do, we have to import that class into our main files here. So we're going to import. Now you see that we've got a less than and greater than sign is how we pulled in the foundation.h. I'm screwing things up right now. That's basically telling the less than and greater than sign is telling it that's a system file. That's one that comes standard with Xcode, or it's in our frameworks or in our products already. Now when we put in a class that we've developed, we physically took and put a new file in there for maids.h and maids.m. We're going to put those in double quotes. So we're going to put in maids, we're basically going to import maids.h. Now you're probably wondering, should I go ahead and import maids.m? And you don't actually have to do that, because we're going to import maids.h. Now if you go to maids.h, you'll see that we've got our method. If you go to maids.m, you'll see that the implementation already pulls in the maids.h, the header file there. So basically the chain of events is we're going to import maids.h. Maids.m already imports maids.h, so the compiler knows where to go from there. So all we have to do is import the header file of our object class there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a new object an instance of our object class, and we're going to do that by first putting in our class, which is maids. Then we're going to point it to our new object. So let's say our maid is named Susie. So we're going to create a new instance of our object as Susie, and then we're going to set that equal to, and in this case we've got to allocate some memory. So we're going to tell our maids class to allocate some memory and also initialize. Alright, so now we've developed an instance of our object. Because Susie's unique and she's coming over to clean her house, she is an instance of our object class. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tell Susie to clean the kitchen. So in order to do that, we're going to put in our square bracket there. We're going to call Susie, and we're going to define what method we want her to do. So we're going to tell her to clean kitchen as we wrote it in the method in our implementation, and we're going to close that off and finish off with the semicolon. So if we run this right now, so we ran our file here, and basically the output that we got is, dang, this grease is thick. So she's cleaning the kitchen, she's thinking in her head, dang, this grease is thick. These boys don't know what they're doing here. Alright, so okay, so now we want to create another method that she's gonna do for us. And well, not for us. Maybe she wants to give us a bill. She gets done cleaning and she's like, I want to give these fools a bill. So we're gonna create another method, and we're just gonna name this billing. And so we're gonna take this, copy it, bring it over to the implementation, where we're gonna set it up, delete the semicolon, add the curly braces, and this is where we're gonna define what the billing is. So we could put in something like, oh yeah, she's gonna actually submit this, mail it to our mailbox. But in this case, for starters purposes, we're just gonna say the bill is $100, and we're just gonna log that within our log, so we can see what's happening. So now you probably think we can run it right now and we'll see the bill show up here, but we haven't actually called this method anywhere. So now we have to go back to our main.amr program, and we are going to, right below, we're going to define another method. We're going to call another method. So we're going to tell Susie to go ahead and bill us there. Alright? So basically we've set up a new instance of our object, which is Susie. And so we've called Susie and we've told her to clean the kitchen. Now we're going to take Susie and we're going to tell her to send the bill or do the billing. Alright? So now we're actually calling that method, which it should show up in our log now. If we run it, you'll see that we get one NS log, dang, this grease is thick, and then we also get $100 as our bill. Alright, so that's kind of the generalized starting to the objects, and you can see how we can define an object class, then we can develop that object, a unique instance of it, which in this case is Susie, and then we can take our methods that we've developed and we can tell Susie, or whoever, whatever the instance of this object class is, to actually execute those. Alright? So hopefully you guys are just starting to grasp the concept of the object-oriented programming. Again, some of the more basic stuff we're going through right now, we're going to get into some sweet stuff coming up. So subscribe, give us a thumbs up if you like this, and we'll catch you guys in the next tutorial.